the top somehow.
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, I'm here, and I'm duty bound to extend my apologies for a slightly tardy start tonight, just due to a little technical glitch on my side. Well, I was just loading up, telling the truth. You know, I like to bring in the facts, so I was just putting all my evidence together so that when we bring you the information, we bring you the supporting facts. But it's time for me, my Straight Dog family, to bid you a very pleasant night wherever you are in St. Kitts and Nevis, and wherever you are in the Caribbean, or matter of fact, wherever you are in the world, because we are on the World Wide Web. And it's time for me to say greetings to all who are logged on to Straight Talk, your program. And we do have many people, many Straight Talk fans, or our family, rather, I should say, is spread all over the world in the Kittitian, Nevisian, and Caribbean diaspora. Some of you are in Asia. Some of you are in Africa. There's some of you in Europe. And there are many of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I will say good morning. And certainly I will say good afternoon as well, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And we do have first timers, I know. Each time we do have first timers because many of you share the link, and I'm eternally grateful for that. And when you do, we get first timers. So I ought to tell the first timers, I hope and pray it won't be your last time. And just to let you know that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we tried to raise the level of national consciousness. We tried to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you, my Straight Talk family, on yet another occasion. And I always pledge, I must pledge, that I will remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded of these words from a favorite hymn of mine. We are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. Let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, I always like to remind you, and for the first timers in particular, on this program, absolutely nothing is watered down. We have no ambition whatsoever to make this program more interesting by omission or exaggeration. We do not promote sensationalism or create excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we lean on the facts. So it is my duty, my bounden duty, to present the unvarnished truth, I call it, especially when it comes to transparency and governance in St. Kitts and Nevis, and extraterritorially as well. Because this program joins us together with the people across our federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know very well, and some we have met, yes. Others we do not know, and many we will never meet. Some of us will agree with the positions of truth advanced on this program called Straight Talk, and some will disagree, and that's fine, because as I always say, we promote diversity because we are a different people and we are entitled to our different views. But what will sadden me, I will hasten to add, is if we ever start to become disagreeable. So let us, in the meanwhile, thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who share the link. Please continue to do so. And for the first timers, Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are 663-6672. That's a local number. You can access it from overseas as well. Obviously, you'll need the area code, which is 869. But we do have an overseas number, 646-829-6672. Or for those of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity, you don't want to be heard. You're afraid to be heard. And sometimes I can understand why, although I prefer you to speak your piece. But for those who like that cloak, we provide you access via our email platform. And the address is straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. Straight Talk Patches is one word, at gmail.com. Those of you who have the Alexa app as well, you can be heard live. Just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. But a special welcome to my Straight Talk Junior Brigade. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Travon, all those young brigade and others. And the special lady, of course, it's Louis. And as usual, we begin with our observations in review, which are an integral part of Straight Talk. And I know you look forward to that section. After which we will move into our thesis, or my thesis. And following my thesis, I will include your calls and your emails, as mentioned earlier, to allow your full participation. Yes, on this program, you get an opportunity, and please use it. Use the opportunity to have your say, because Straight Talk is about you. The views expressed here are not absolute, but they are objective. So our observations review, like I said, my Straight Talk family, we do highlight the current issues and do some reflection. We may then ask a few questions, such as, what was accomplished since we last met or had a conversation? How has it helped others? What has changed since? And what can be expected next? And what new we have learned as a people? Because Straight Talk is about a learning process. And after our observations and review, we will begin our thesis. And for tonight, it is titled, People Drew the Reports. D-R-E-W, yes. People drew the reports, embezzlement and murders. So don't change the link. Just spread the word that Straight Talk is live. And our first observation, my Straight Talk family, on Tuesday gone, I took a stroll down to Port Zante as I saw the icon of the seas alongside our second cruise pier. And the icon of the seas is, I'm sure you know by now, is the largest cruise ship afloat with a capacity of 5,610 passengers. That's double occupancy, or 7,600 passengers maximum. It carries a crew of 2,350. So all told, there are some 9,950 souls on board. So if we really have attractions at our destination, then we can do pretty well. I met some store owners who told me they got some relief. And that was good, as they are all under financial stress because nothing is going on in tourism. I noticed the minister is rather subdued. I understand there's a new CEO of the Tourism Authority. Straight Talk has not heard much from her. But some workers from the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, confronted me, and in a friendly manner. They thanked me for exposing the incompetent and arrogant acting CEO, Carissa Nero, but reminded me that I forgot to mention that accountant Alfie Brown had also submitted her resignation. The accountant, Miss Brown, left hastily because she really could no longer stand the acting CEO, Kerry Nero. And information that had just come to hand confirms that the replacements for the accountant and payroll officer, who I told you about on Monday, have now declined their job offers. Wow. But other workers, beg your pardon, are closely monitoring the situation to see if Kerry would recommend Troy for one of the vacant positions, because both have a very close relationship. So Kerry can help Troy to overcome his difficulties with writing, spelling, and organizing thoughts on paper. Troy, we understand, counts money very well. But revenue is way down at the UDC, so appointing him to any one of the vacant positions may be in keeping with the strategic objectives of the board of directors. So I will not be too surprised, as strange but true, Ms. Nero, who oversees the operations at UDC, successfully recommended to the board of directors that the chief of security should be terminated, and she was. For some reason, I'm not getting that PowerPoint. My computer is not reading that PowerPoint with that Pauline Trust letter. But because the acting CEO, prior to her current role, ensured that Ms. Truss was terminated, as the position of Chief of Security, we are told, was not aligned with the revised strategic objectives of the cooperation and did not improve proficiency and or effectiveness. But that, my straight dog family, is strange, and we are following developments at the UDC. There was also a rumor making the rounds, as this my second observations, and it was a reliable rumor, I may add. About a month ago, when it was reported that our Prime Minister, Dr. July, had a mental breakdown and went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for treatment. Straight Talk never addressed that matter, that rumor, because we could not verify the accuracy. Or we are still prepared to say that, according to this release, the Prime Minister, like I said, went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Since his return to office, however, as you can glean from that release, he went on personal matters or personal business. Since his return to office, however, we have been watching the Prime Minister more closely, because during his tenure thus far, his actions and his utterances to date have been rather weird, to use a popular term. He made statements like the country was in the red, remember. Then he retracted and told us that he had saved money for a rainy day. But just 2 days ago, nonetheless, on one of the local radio stations here in St. Kitts, Dr. July made another weird statement that has caused me to believe, and caused many people, I should add, to believe, that the Prime Minister's head, as we say in local or colloquial language, is not good. Remember some months ago, Dr. July told the nation that he had repaired the morgue. Yes, we must remember this, my Straight Talk family.
The morgue was in dilapidated condition. Sure, if any of you would have gone there because of investigative purposes and you see the morgue, you'll be so disappointed.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. Do you remember now? He said the morgue was in dilapidated position. But little that we knew, Dr. July repaired the morgue that now accommodates patients. Yes. July told the country a few days ago that 2 patients were mixed up in the morgue. You don't believe me? You always bring you the facts.
But some months so they got to put out that the morgue mixed up 2 patients. Well, I'm not saying that they are not issues, but issues, yes. But I'm not saying they are not issues. They are issues, and there'll always be issues. I don't care which hospital it is, because you're dealing with human life. Remember some months so they got to put out that the morgue mixed up 2 patients. Well, I'm not saying that they are not issues, but issues, yes. But I'm not saying they are not issues. They are issues, and there'll always be issues. I don't care which hospital it is, because you're dealing with human life.
So yes, my Straight Dog family, isn't that weird that 2 patients, according to Dr. July, were mixed up in the morgue? I wonder, we may ask him if they were on the same bed in the morgue. So I have to conclude that July must be a mental case, or as Peace Boy declared this about July, my Straight Talk family.
Why do you come like you got guns? I need to teach July some sense.
That's coming from the Peace Boy. And we must agree that the Peace Boy is correct. Because a morgue is a place where no patients will hope to ever encounter. No patients will ever hope to go. Yes, a morgue serves a crucial role in society as it provides a dignified space for our departed, for the deceased. It provides a dignified space, my Straight Dog family, during the critical period between death and burial and or cremation. Well, in high school, I chose the alternative to biology, which I recall was French. So I learned that the word morgue, la morgue, has French roots. It is derived from the French word for dead house. It is a facility, beg your pardon, or a designated area within a hospital or other medical institutions where deceased bodies are stored, often temporarily, before they are identified. So when you hear July speak like this, you have to say something is wrong with his head.
Remember some months so they got to put out that the morgue mixed up 2 patients. Well, I'm not saying that they are not issues, but issues, yes. But I'm not saying they are not issues. They are issues, and there'll always be issues. I don't care which hospital it is, because you're dealing with human life.
So his morgue mixed up 2 patients. Now, our third observation has to do with one very important issue of shelter. And my Straight Talk family, the slow student Jeffrey Hanley, remember, made a gleeful announcement over a year ago and more about an affordable housing solution, according to him, and his announcement went something like this.
As a government, we believe that it is critically important for our citizens and residents to become home owners, and as such has made it a top priority to create affordable housing solutions that will meet the ever-growing housing demand. Today, as the Minister responsible for housing and human settlement, I am pleased to formally announce that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and National Housing Corporation (NHC) has signed a contract with East Coast Housing Development, a Trinidadian-based developer, to finance and deliver 2,400 affordable smart homes over a period of 4 years, 600 of which will be made available each year. EC's $600 million has been sourced by this developer to fund the project, and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, through NHC, will facilitate the development and be the point of access for the citizens who are interested in procuring a smart home.
Now, my Straight Talk family, according to the National Housing Corporation Act, Cap 23.18, and the revised edition showing the law as of the 31st of December 2002, the NHC is mandated to provide housing for the poor and indigent. And if you look at Section 4 of the Corporation Act, which I just mentioned, it clearly states the functions of the corporation. And Section 4, subsection 1, which is on your screen, it reads, and I quote, "The functions of the corporation shall be A, to add to and improve the existing supply of houses." And it goes on to tell you the modality. But fast forward to subsection C. And how do we read that? We'll read it this way: the functions of the corporation shall be C, to provide housing for the indigent and the infirm, or the indigent and infirm, let me say, or read it as it is on your screens or in the section. But July, my Straight Talk family, and the slow student sent above all people, they sent the aristocrat in the cabinet, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, to give poor people who need shelter, to give the indigent, as stipulated in the legislation, this message, my Straight Talk family. He gave them this message.
It is not government buying the houses or NHC buying the houses. It's individuals buying the houses. This is the solution for persons who are bankable and can take a mortgage loan from a credit union or a bank, and they can purchase a one-bedroom house for $111,000, a two-bedroom for $213,000, and a three-bedroom for $497,000.
Imagine, he sends Garth Lucifer Wilkin to deliver that low blow to the poor people in St. Kitts. Then the slow student tries to pacify that blow and comes back to us and says this.
And I was happy that we had that open fair, the house fair, because it gave us an opportunity to be able to go back to the drawing board to present something that will blow the minds of our people when we are delivering the homes. Whereas a one-bedroom was 450 square feet, now a one-bedroom will be 592 square feet. A two-bedroom was 862 square feet. It's now 879 square feet. And a three-bedroom that was 1,200 under this new initiative, A 3-bedroom is 1,288 square feet. These larger homes will not attract any additional cost.
My Straight Talk family, it's over 1 year since the announcement, and only 2 model homes or model houses were built. The crooked Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin made this statement to the nation as well, my Straight Talk family. He said this:
2 model homes will be built that the contract contemplates. During the construction of those model homes, the local contractors will get to learn the modern technique, the special technique that is being used for these reinforced concrete slab homes. If the government is not satisfied with the homes or the construction, whether they could withstand serious hurricanes and earthquakes and so forth, which the government has experts who can verify that, and whether NHC is not satisfied with the homes, then the contract comes to an end.
And many are asking the people, what is the current disposition with the contract? Because reliable rumors have revealed that Brian Singh, the managing director of East Coast Housing Development, has disappeared and gone back to Trinidad and Tobago. And no matter what they say, people are not fooled nevertheless. As this outspoken activist said this recently.
When this whole housing thing started, for instance, the impression given was that the developer would also finance the homes, and then people would, those who are bankable, I think was the term used, would then go and acquire them, etc., etc. If there's a new model, we have not we don't know of it. Okay, certainly the timelines that were given at first, those have gone to the window long time, and we are none the wiser about what is the current situation, right? And there are so many other projects that are supposed to should have been rolled out already that's still in the pipeline. I think the term used was coming soon. I remember asking the Attorney General one, why can't the housing contract be made public? And he gave the same nonsensical argument about where they made trade secrets. In a housing contract? Huh? And we're supposed to accept things like that? That's ridiculous. But every time having to make excuses, and it's becoming unbearable now, to be quite honest.
And yes, I feel your pain. We all feel your pain. But notwithstanding the foregoing, the Prime Minister July stated a few days ago that hundreds of houses were approved. He said this, my Straight Talk family:
Smart homes on their way. Right? On the way. Don't talk about projects unless they're at the point of non-reversible. The housing project. Right now we have hundreds of houses that are approved. And if you take 4 work up a house, just multiply that. Easily you're talking a few hundred just for the housing. And that will go on for about a number of years as well. Smart homes on their way. Right? On the way. Don't talk about projects unless they're at the point of non-reversible. The housing project. Right now we have hundreds of houses that are approved. And if you take 4 work up a house, just multiply that. Easily you're talking a few hundred just for the housing. And that will go on for about a number of years as well.
My Straight Dog family, my grandmother would say that Dr. July lies like when a horse is trotting. Hundreds are approved, he says. But ironically, the Office of East Coast Housing Development is closed. Yes, it is closed. Calls are not being answered. The office is not accessible as the metal gate is locked. Attempts to get information to the office have been futile. And that is the situation with the houses that should have been built. 600 per year. We're now over a year, heading towards the second year. My Straight Dog family. But we are following that story on your behalf. And our fourth observation, I am duty bound to congratulate the manager and water engineer, Cromwell Williams, and his men at the Water Services Department for their tireless efforts to bring relief to customers in the Shadwell, Ways Garden, Taylors, and other areas who only receive water 4 or 5 hours per day. And I empathize with the soccer engineer. Yes, I did not misspeak. I empathize with the soccer engineer, Conris. You know, because his hands are full. He's inexperienced. I've been there and I've done that. But the soccer engineer must stop looking back and criticizing his predecessors, what they do and did not do. Nonsense, soccer engineer. The people need water to bathe their skin, to cook their food, to wash their clothes, and flush their toilets. Water is life, it is said. So the soccer engineer must just find solutions for the problems and stop driving the car in the rearview mirror. I heard the soccer engineer talking about Bede going to drill for water in Molyneux. But how could anybody trust Bede to drill for another well in St. Kitts? Bede went to Nevis and got paid to drill for water in Nevis, according to the snake Mark Brantley, and it never did. My Straight Dog family, it never did, according to the snake.
As I indicated publicly before, we had made a commitment to have an additional 3 wells done at a global cost of 10 million EC dollars back in 2017. In fact, it was in August of 2017 that we paid to a company called Bede just over 2 million EC dollars as a down payment. Bede has never come to do the work for the government. And so we don't have our $2 million and we don't have any wells. We have decided to take legal action against Bede. That is ongoing. So it has not been for want of trying in relation to water.
But Bede came to St. Kitts, my Straight Dog family, and drilled 2 wells in Shadwell. Shadwell 1 and Shadwell 2. Shadwell 2 was never commissioned as the water was deemed unfit for human consumption. And to date, that well is still capped. Shadwell 1 is now shut down, my Straight Dog family. Shadwell 1 is now shut down, as we are told that a recent test by the Bureau of Standards found that the over 400,000 gallons per day was also fit or unfit, beg your pardon, for human consumption. So that well you've seen on your screen was already connected to the system, but is now shut down. Residents in Keon are still complaining about the water they are receiving from the last well that was drilled in Keon. But my straight talk family, the Snake Mark Brantley fired bid in Nevis because we are told they are currently drilling for water in Nevis, utilizing or having contracted another company. So we take that to read that bid was fired in Nevis. So we ask the question, why is not bid fired in St. Kitts? Is there some quid pro quo? Is somebody getting a favor granted in return for something? The SOCO engineer can tell us that. The SOCO engineer Conris said, and rightly so, my straight talk family, that bid was going to address Shadwell 2 after Keon. The SOCO engineer said this, my straight talk family.
When they are finished drilling the well in Keon and it is successful, we will then move to Shadwell, where there is an existing well that needs further addressing.
So my straight talk family, what is the situation? We have to keep you honest, SOCO engineer. Why don't you fire bid? Bid has provided problems after drilling 3 wells in St. Kitts. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my straight talk family. And I move right into my thesis, which I said I have titled for those who may have just joined me. People drew the reports, embezzlement and murders. And it's been oft repeated, my straight dog family, that St. Kitts Nevis is one of the smallest island nations in the world, both in terms of land area and population. We are known for our beautiful landscapes, tourism, black and white sand beaches in St. Kitts, not Nevis. Nevis have some lovely white sand beaches, Pillies and others. And a vibrant culture, my straight dog family. In terms of financial issues or scandals, our country has faced many challenges. But it would not be necessarily accurate to label our beautiful federation as a hotspot for embezzlers. In connection with our Citizenship by Investment program, though, the U.S. Department of Treasury issued an advisory way back in 2014, my straight dog family. I'm not even certain if that advisory was in fact withdrawn. We remember that advisory in 2014. The advisory speaks to illicit actors and warns that passports obtained through our CBI program were used to facilitate financial crimes. But that, my straight dog family, is over 10 years ago. And who would believe that our CBI is still under the microscope? We have on several occasions updated you on the MSR RICO case filed by the French convict Philippe Martinez, who during COVID was sneaked into the Federation via Nevis, lest we forget, by the Snake Mark Brantley, who supported MSR for 2 long years under the guise of film production. The snake Mark Brantley, as Minister of Finance in Nevis, approved payment of US $150,000 per month from the Nevis Treasury Magistrate Dog family.
Yes, there is a financial arrangement with MSR. I believe the number is $150,000.
$150,000 per month, US. That is EC dollars 400,000 per month. Do your mathematics, my street dog family, for 2 years and tell me what you get. But it's millions of dollars. Now, the July administration is silent because breaking news, my street dog family, according to DBS television in St. Lucia, Straight Talk learned yesterday of the resignation of the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the Citizenship by Investment Unit, Michael Martin, has resigned. And according to the report, his resignation is another casualty of the MSR RICO case. And this was reported by Straight Talk family.
We've just had the resignation. We don't know why, but the resignation of the recently installed Chief Executive Officer of the CIU up in St. Kitts, Nevis. Sources are indicating that it may have to do with some evidence within the MSR case that is unfolding, again for the underselling of the citizenships.
We must repeat that so you can absorb it, my Straight Dog family.
Well, we've just had the resignation. We don't know why, but the resignation of the recently installed Chief Executive Officer of the CIU up in St. Kitts, Nevis. Sources are indicating that it may have to do with some evidence within the MSR case that is unfolding, again for the underselling of the citizenships.
But my Straight Dog family, the palace guards in St. Kitts would not report it. They will probably do so now since they've heard it on Straight Talk. But St. Lucia has reported that Michael Martin has resigned and have, I call it speculated because I cannot confirm it on Straight Talk, that he is a casualty of the MSR RICO case. And we know that July, as the minister responsible for the Citizenship by Investment program, has not and will not say anything about this development or the pending judicial review, my Straight Dog family, but in an attempt to distract us as a people drew attention to his own trumped up case of embezzlement, my Straight Dog family. He said this.
There's a case, of course, that is coming up where a lot of this will come out, but I have the audit and the interviews of those who gave information, who were part of it. How can a country do that? And this is the part that I think people need to understand. That was very dangerous. So in that sense, you can't continue that. That is dangerous. Let's set up what you call the DON system. What we want is a program that is scientifically driven, that is sustainable, wouldn't put your banks, that would not be as corrupt to embezzle millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to the tune where Development Bank is on the verge of crashing.
I know you're confused, my Straight Dog family, so am I. Because if there is any case of embezzlement in St. Kitts, it originated right in the Prime Minister's office. How could we forget the $8 million spent on the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Museum, my Straight Dog family? How could we forget that? The project, according to July, should have been completed 2 years ago. My Straight Talk family. The project has been abandoned for over a year. My Straight Talk family. So we ask, when was your last visit to the site, Dr. July? And when will you give the country a report on this project? When will you account for the $8 million spent? My Straight Talk family. Ask about the difference between the peace and the Elevate program. July's response was pathetic, pitiful, to say the least, my Straight Talk family.
Minister of National Security, what is different? What is the Elevate program offering now to at-risk youth that the peace may not have offered?
Right. So let me tell you what the Elevate program is. The Elevate program really, before anything was done, a study was done of the previous program. One of the things that we found there was that there was a lot of embezzlement of money involving government officials and CEOs of banks.
My Straight Talk family, I was asked, what is the difference between the Elevate and the Peace program? And you heard his response? But that is not clever, my Straight Talk family. It is downright deceitful. The Prime Minister is behaving like a criminal character who is trying to evade capture or detection by not creating a conventional trail of evidence. But he left another trail when, contrary to the Procurement and Administration Act, my Straight Talk family, contrary to the Procurement and Administration Act, he literally handed a $5.8 million contract to Cashley Allers to purchase 1,000 water buckets. That works out to $5,800, $5,800 a bucket. And he confirmed it, my Straight Talk family. He confirmed it. I told you.
We have sent the fire truck, we have sent the water truck. We continue to send the fire truck, we continue to send the water truck. We have signed a contract to purchase water storage tanks. So at least when the water truck goes, they have a larger receptacle to store the water. I would also like to thank Mr. Ashley Allers, because he's the one who brought the idea of how we can help with the storage receptacles that we're going to launch.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. He confirmed it. To date, Dr. July has only accounted for 579 of the 1,000 buckets. This is the only report he has given to date.
As an interim measure, the government introduced a new water storage tank project to ease the suffering of residents by improving access to water by affected households. Under the project, we have already distributed over 250 tanks primarily to vulnerable residents in Upper Keyon, Whites Village, Sarabori, Cabitry, and Spooners Village. These areas are known to be the most severely impacted by water scarcity and have felt the brunt of the water shortage impact over the years, Madam Speaker. Water shortage tanks were also distributed to the residents of St. Peter's who suffer a similar plight. A total of 314 water storage tanks were supplied to households throughout the Upper Monkey Hill, the Glen, Paris Village, Fountain, and Stapleton, bringing the total distribution under the water project to about 500 or more.
579 to be exact, if you did the calculations based on the figures he gave. But these are two clear cases of embezzlement that were hatched right in the Prime Minister's office. Who will investigate these cases? And will they involve forensic accounting? Will there be digital investigations and thorough audits to uncover any other hidden financial activities in the Prime Minister's office? July's secrecy or lack of transparency, the people are aware of it. The people are aware it is being used as a cover for his corruption and or his mismanagement. We noted the lack of transparency and started drawing up a report from day one of your term in office, Dr. July. The people drew the reports on your unethical practices so that they did not go unnoticed. As effective oversight mechanisms, people drew the reports on embezzlement and murders. The report drew on murders is dated from the 6th of August 2022 to yesterday, the 11th of September 2024. The report drew reads August to December 2022, 8 murders. January to December 2023, 31 murders. And January to September, just yesterday, including the murder in Nevis at Hamilton, 27 murders. The total number of murders under July to date equals 66 murders, my straight dog family. And one must glean from the statistics presented above that in the past 2 years since the change of government in 2022, St. Kitts Nevis has experienced higher rates of violent crime, including murders. Unfortunately, my straight dog family, the July administration dismantled the crime prevention program that he met in place, thus creating moods or deriving moods of fear among the population as the country has returned to the heinous gun crimes. The peace program, from all reports, gave at-risk youth a second chance. It was therefore essential to sustain and expand the program in order to continue the progress made in reducing crime and improving community safety. And this was reported by the former National Security Advisor, Major General Saunders, who reported this, my straight dog family.
The strategy involved started on the 13th of March 2019, and it's commonly referred to, as you know, as the Peace Initiative. We offer quite a number of opportunities for the at-risk group. Project development, business opportunities, they can access loans. A lot of them are into apprenticeships at this particular moment in time. They are the normal work routines, learning trades, and for obviously educational opportunities and the like. Persons who have been on for some time and who have accessed these opportunities have now started to move off the program to take up or to spend more time in the actual business venture that they have adopted. And that is always a good sign, as it makes way for anybody else who might be interested in coming onto the program or who merits coming onto that particular program.
One such person that participated in the program testified publicly on Sunday night on what he benefited from the peace program. He said this publicly.
Well, what we were trying to do, like as McCarthy said, It wasn't the most important factors. As you hear something happening in a village, we actually had a group of guys, what we call the management. We are a part of the peace program, but like we pick out the most influential guys from the different villages them, and we create a little body within the peace. And we were responsible for now. Every little quarrel, even an argument to man gain. We hear about it, you got there quick. As McCarthy say, you call the two parties, we see them down, man, I hold on this. To me, that ain't going on now, and that need to be happening for the peace thing to hold on.
Okay.
We need to do that still.
So what would you say to those who say the peace was just about paying criminals to do crime? Because the truth is, the peace might have suffered from lack of public relations, but there are people who actually believe that it was just a cash cow to give money to guys like yourself and others, and it encouraged crime. So what would you say to those people?
Well, I can't put me in a blacks for nobody. Me know the cash cow thing go, but for me, the peace, I mean, they tell a lot of lies on it. I don't know if because I was political or whatever, but as I say, I don't want to get in that. It was not a program to pay nobody. That's a lie. They were giving us loans. They were helping us in every way. I still got my loan to pay for up till today. I had a reason with Patches Nisbet in January when Nevis with my family they came, and Patches Nisbet was still on no, and political talk come up and all they not pay them man and they so I had to tell him no, it's not so. I get a loan and I had to sign papers just like anybody else. If me not pay who me loan, they're gonna come back for meeting them. It wasn't free. And that one of the things like the I don't know in politics, but the opposition were pushing out at the time, like, oh, to me they were trying to turn society against the guys them. Imagine we used to complain about guys misbehaving where I don't behave myself. Now somebody implements something for us to behave itself, they're still vexed. So I couldn't understand the way they were bashing the peace. But it was just, I guess it was just misinformation, so I want to clear it up tonight. I'm still paying for my loan, it's nothing free. It was just a good program to help unfortunate people that most people don't want to forgive. It's a very forgiving program, and we need more programs like that. If we are in forgive, how we gonna move on? So like, you know, as I said, we went through the same procedures just like anybody else. And we just got the opportunity that nobody else ever gave us. And that's why I could praise the program so much. I would have never been here today if it wasn't for the Peace Initiative. Because first thing first, you just come out of prison. Well, who wants trust a prisoner with so much money? You take, you know, you got to be forgiving. You must. You got to put a little confidence in people. You know what I mean? Believe them for somewhat. If they disappoint you, well, you know, you leave a little room for that. But we got to be forgiving. You say the church, right? So we got to be forgiving. You know what I mean? And that's what them guys did to me. They were very forgiving to us. And to me, it looked like to society like, oh, too much politics again we think too. Like they just give them money and but look at this. Let's rewind. When the peace initiative was going on, wasn't crime down much more? So whatever they were doing, it was working. So why bash something that is working?
Why bash something that's working? Very pertinent question. Economic factors, social issues, and other national influences can all contribute to crime rates. And efforts to improve safety and security should be ongoing. The minister responsible for crime, or the crime minister, Dr. July, is stuck in denial mode when he goes on like this.
Never made crime and violence a political issue, except to say you can never ever pay for peace. It is a non-starter. It is not even a concept that should be contemplated because it cannot work and it cannot be implemented.
My Straight Talk family, the minister responsible for crime, or the crime minister, like I said, is stuck in denial mode. he fails to accept and continues in vain to tarnish the at-risk youths that benefited from the program, my Street Dog family.
So we launched the Elevate program because under the corrupt criminal enterprise called the Peace Program was a criminal enterprise endorsed, sponsored by the administration led by the member from number 7. The Peace Program was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state. You had what you call a management review board and an initial engagement team come talking about Peace Program. This was a criminal enterprise sponsored by the state, Madam Speaker.
I want to ask July something. So people are there thinking before the Peace Program. How much used to dead a year before the Peace Program under Labour? Why do you come like this at guns? How much people used to dead as sing kids before the Peace Program a year? The Peace Program come and the Peace Program lessen it. I come back here now and the same bullshit start again. People start to drop like flies by blaming the Peace Program. I don't tell you, real killers not join the Peace Program. I need to teach July some sense.
And that's a word coming from the street. And that reminds me, my Street Dog family, that I forgot to extend belated birthday greetings to one of my favorite pastors, who eventually answered my earlier question about the Peace Program. Yes, Pastor Connor served on the initial engagement team, I think it was called, the initial engagement team in St. Kitts, and said this in response to my earlier question. He said this about the Peace Program.
One of the best programs ever implemented for me is the Peace Program. And I could say why.
Well, I've always contended that the Peace Program was a very good program. And so that's easy for me to say because I've always said that.
Yes, he eventually responded in support of the Peace Program. But I like the Peace Boys' reaction the most. But while July is burying his head in denial, Prime Minister Gaston Brown has partly emulated our program in Antigua and Barbuda. They introduced the Antigua Peace Initiative. Alternatives are being provided for the at-risk youth to be engaged productively, my Street Dog family, to develop their skills, and they will be given access to employment, and in a nutshell, are given a second chance. This according to Prime Minister Gaston Brown.
The Prime Minister reflects on the current situation by comparing it to the year 2000, when he collaborated with community activist Luther Lee to intervene and help dismantle the Red Shirt gang in the Point and Villa communities, despite being labeled a gang leader. He emphasizes that opportunities were created for members of the gang.
The disintegration of that gang. Now, I would have found myself in a situation within the last maybe 2 years, because we all had knowledge as a society that these children were committing some heinous crimes, cutting up each other, chopping up each other, stabbing each other. We saw the posts on social media, where we saw the videos of them fighting. And as a society, we never stopped to inquire precisely what was happening.
Prime Minister Brown adds that despite anticipating criticism from certain circles, he could not stand by without identifying and addressing the root cause of the issues.
I think what had happened to me, because I was labeled as a gang leader prior, I didn't want to be involved directly as Prime Minister and to be subjected to that type of classification again. And perhaps my position at the time was bordering on being selfish, because I was more concerned about the label of a gang leader once again, But having reflected on it, I said to myself, well, hold on a second. You know, gang leader.
Following Thursday's meeting, a few members of both groups met casually over the weekend in St. John's. In addition to engaging with the youths, the government plans to meet with their guardians as part of the rehabilitation process. Theresa Goodwin, ABS News.
Prime Minister Gaston Brown also got a truce agreed to between the two gangs.
They have actually agreed to a truce. They have befriended each other. And I believe that this augurs well for peace and tranquility within our society. So the gang warfare that was taking place among these groups, I believe that will come to an end. As I said to them, they're the ones who have to help us to keep the peace. We have provided them with alternatives. The last thing we want is for this gang warfare to disintegrate to the extent that you have a lot of killings and our youth getting maimed. In fact, we're aware that many of them would have dropped out of school already, 13, 14, 15 years of age because of this situation. We're also aware, too, that many of them have suffered some debilitating stabs and choppings. And we're hoping that, it'll come to an end and that they'll be able to engage themselves productively. We're providing them opportunities for employment. We're also providing them opportunities for them to develop their skills at ABIS. And we're also giving them opportunities to be part of the Second Chance program in which they can pursue their CXE.
Second chance. So while July is burying his head in denial and talking about taking the politics out of it, what's in it, Dr. July? Pure politics. Because even Mayor Motley in Barbados looked at our program and they too have introduced a peace initiative in Barbados, my Straight Talk family. They have introduced their own peace program in Barbados. Yes, my Straight Talk family.
For the first time, we are having direct interventions where the Prime Minister would have provided $2.5 million for family-based interventions, whether it be parental programs or life coaching programs for our adolescents that may have gone astray. So a serious effort has been made to change Barbados, starting with the National Peace Program. For the first time, we are having direct interventions where the Prime Minister would have provided $2.5 million for family-based interventions, whether it be parental programs or life coaching programs for our adolescents that may have gone astray. So a serious effort has been made.
Forgive me, my Straight Talk family. Forgive me, please.
Peace program. For the first time, we are having direct interventions where the Prime Minister would have provided $2.5 million for family-based interventions, whether it be parental programs or life coaching programs for our adolescents that may have gone astray. So a serious effort has been made to change Barbados, starting with the National Peace Program.
So yes, my Straight Talk family, Drew, here in St. Kitts, has dismantled our peace program. Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda has modeled our programs, our program. Because Drew cannot put away politics. Let's put away politics, my Straight Talk family. And let's make peace and justice not a concept, but a way of life. St. Kitts Nevis had long been a beacon of harmony and trust. But recent developments had begun to erode the sense of unity. The once close-knit communities in St. Kitts and in Nevis are now divided, with simmering tensions threatening to upend the serenity we have all cherished for so long. Already, people drew the reports of embezzlement and murders. That's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines anytime now at 9:19. But I must implore you as usual when I do, and I'll do so momentarily, that I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us strive, let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And my Straight Talk family, in saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, I go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear.
The quote for this evening: our greatest ability as humans is not to change the world, but to change ourselves. I repeat, our greatest ability as humans is not to change the world, but to change ourselves. Have a great evening.
Thank you, my Straight Talk family. Have a great evening as well. Not to change the world, but to change ourselves. Let's go back to the lines. A caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Oh my gosh! I inadvertently disconnected that call. I do apologize for that. I inadvertently disconnected the call. Is it you I disconnected? Good night, caller. Hello, caller.
Patel.
It's the Bible man. How are you, my dear brother?
Yes, Mr. Bible man.
I am.
You cut it out one more time, Patel.
I am awfully sorry, my dear brother. I am awfully
One
sorry.
more that you can't. That you've been doing for the longest while. So I don't know why you just do that.
Oh, I beg forgiveness, my brother. You heard the guy talk about forgiveness. Don't you forgive?
Well.
Don't you say your prayers?
The Bible talk about 70 times 7, 70 times 7. Yeah.
Okay.
449.
Okay, my brother. What's on your mind tonight? What's on your mind tonight?
Well, what's on my mind? And the Lord is good.
All the time.
And the Bible says, oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good.
Yes, he's good.
For his mercy endured forever.
Yes.
It's to let the redeemer of the Lord say so. Oh, he had redeemed from the hands of the enemy.
Amen.
Mr. Patrick, we are living. And I've been thinking about the goodness of God. Brother, it is time to give God thanks and praise.
Mm-hmm.
And as the word of God says in Psalm 34, I will bless at all times. His praise shall continue in my mouth. My soul shall make a boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear it and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. That is the last thing I'm going to tell you now. I learned up to today, or not today, up to yesterday. I heard people, and it comes to me that when people do wrong, they don't want to pay for the wrong that they do. But it we all our brother's keeper. Hey man, we build a gallows from Malachi, Mr. Patil. And the same gallows that Haman built, and these same gallows that Haman built on. And we must understand there is a God in heaven, and he look all over, and what, in a respect of no person, what he say, he gonna do it. He said before heaven and earth, God, you understand what I say? He said, before your word pass, heaven and earth will pass away. So, Mr. Patrick, I have a pleasant night. I have nothing else to say. See you.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. Always look forward to your spiritual interventions, I call them. That's coming from the Bible man. You got back in. Like I said, I apologize. I inadvertently disconnected your call, but you are so nimble on your fingers that you got back in right away. Okay, I've got this email. Patches, good night. I know for next week all of the holidays fall on Monday and Thursday, so no straight talk. Would you be good enough to us to give us at least one day for straight talk, whether Tuesday or Wednesday? Well, that's a fair request. Why not Monday? Why not Monday? I have a special request, but we'll see. Patches, good night. Something terrible is happening in this country, and it needs fixing now. The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis police force is full of corruption. For over the past weeks, one set of gang members are being locked up and charged for murder. How is it only these one set of gang members are being targeted? Is it that the police are colluding with the other side of gang members? There are a lot of police who are corrupt and are even involved with some of these gang members and are feeding another side of the gang members with information. Now we see why this place will not get any better. Sandra, Rashawn, Teddy, BJ, Zion, Japheth, Malik, all these were murdered just like everybody else, and up to now, no justice. No one has been locked up and charged, but the police have been locking up one set of men, and families are still crying out for justice, even when the police were given information. Up to now, no arrests. But I want the government to make up their beds and the pockets in the treasury, because when these cases are over, with all not guilty verdicts, they will be paying out millions. Read this email. Blessed Love, Mr. Straight Talk. The last episode entitled Be Ye Not Distracted by Crime, Academics and Politics was very excellent. I really did enjoy the episode. And Mr. Straight Talk, you were really at it from the go. I love the way how you talk on the issue. Facts and showing once again the government ain't got no clue and ain't know how to deal with crime. Once again, the episode was very good and the callers were good as well. Bless up, Mr. Straight Talk. Thanks a lot for your commendation. We try our best to make sure that we bring the facts and we make sense. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Patrick.
Good night, my brother. Culture.
Yes, man. Yes, how are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm peaceful too. Well, brother, our time coming shorter and shorter every week, but you start 19 past. But anyway, thank God I get in a little peace.
I started so late. I apologize. Yes, I'll give you.
Okay.
You like
okay. Good night,
you like some of those.
Sorry, go ahead.
You like some of those politicians, huh?
The good ones.
All right, okay, my brother.
You got some devil in the full of demons.
Okay.
Good night, Mr. Strater and everybody. And you also call me before the program. When the program done, please call me back. Now, Patty, let me go here. Good night, Bible man. I like the Bible scripture then, but I want to ask you, if you haven't seen these load of trenches and pothole and coppers in the roads in Tabernacle, Mr. Bibleman, please talk about them, because it is wrong for this Mickey Mouse government to ignore any place in St. Kitts that's exposed to the public and they need fixing and they're not fixing them. Especially Tabernacle, because Tabernacle is the home of the leader of PLP, which is number 7, Dr. Harris, and Dr. Loin Joe. He got so much of animosity in his heart, Timothy. So much evil in his heart for Timothy. That one time he said, we tell him, why don't you sit down with Timothy and get some experience? He said, he will never sit down with Timothy. And so every time he opens his mouth, the name Timothy is like a toothache in his head, cutting him. Number 7, remember for number 7, he keeps stressing on number 7, looking back. That is why he ain't come over here and fix the school in Maligno, where a lot of people went. Even when he Labour supporters over here went in Maligno school. And why they don't fix it? Because it is number 7, where Timothy is. And why he went up, Philip says, to dismantle the Explorers Club. Because it is number 7 under Timothy. And he ain't doing nothing, he ain't fixing nothing over here. If the man that could mash up everything in number 7, he will do it. Patches, there are some big, what you call, copper, trenches, sloughs in the streets in Tabernacle. If you carry 10 horses and 10 cattle, they could drink water. Their belly will full till it busts, and a lot of water will leave how deep them will be. And he ain't fixing nothing. He going up and down, if you're talking about he fixing sidewalk and breaking down Mr. Bradshaw house to make museum, and up to now Mr. Bradshaw house can't finish. From 4 million to 8 million. Where the other 4 come in? They come in, Dr. Joe, stop telling lies, brother. No. That is, the reason why he was so concerned about fixing the roof in the MOG, because he expect what's happening right now. And no doubt, I would believe that a lot of people, patients in the hospital, a lot of them go in and in 3 to 4 days, a lot of them dead. And you could hear when the funeral come over, they want to thank the members of the dialysis room for their service. I want to know now if 15 of those contaminated dialysis machines that he took from Canada and said the majority of them is working. I want to know if they are affecting any of these people who did so fast that when they go in the market, so much people in there that they get mixed up. That's it. If I get more time, I'll come back with a little piece. Thank you so long.
Thank you. My dear brother, we go straight back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Hello, caller.
Patrick, how are you? Good night.
I am peaceful, my brother. Jam down. How are you?
Patrick, I'm fine. But boy, it's very serious in Wilmer land, see? Patrick, if I wrong to say that poor people got life harder than a rock, we guilty. We guilty. If you fool me last election, it can't happen again. Cause if you fool me once or twice, it can't happen again. Again. I get some sad news this afternoon. A young lady from Newtown walk in one of them mobile company on 4th Street. And as she coming out the door, she had a letter. But her job was compromised because the management of that institution looked like she want to make it a OECS island thing. You know? And I sure that replacement deal, somebody from St. Lucia, St. Vincent are going to go replace. Because that is where going on. That is where Ryan Joe, Danger West Joe, Vagabond Joe is promoting in this country. They don't care. And they don't understand the dynamics of where they play in this country. Then they go walk into the issues. Anywhere he said go, jam don't go in. Anywhere Dr. Sylvester Harris said go in this country, I go in. These guys should be ashamed of themselves when they play in the country. They should be ashamed of themselves. Patel, Newton people too, you know, should be ashamed when they go. They had a born Newton man looking out for Newton. Anytime I walk up Wellington Road, I'm walking down. And I reach by that building there, I got to shake my head and ask if people real. People are real. And then tell me that, you know, let the blood come to the eyes. Let it come to the eyes and you can't take it no more. Let's go to the first. Because if they put themselves in that, they can't go get rid of them, then it's yourself they get in the reader. And more still to come, Patches. A lot more still to come. Simple things when you see you hanging down on the port with your board, Raptors, all those guys who work vigilantly under Keith Phillips. Look where we port gone to. Look where we port gone to. People don't get in nothing coming from the port, above the port, and then fishing orders. Can we live the other up Monkey Hill? Just get up at the house. Got children in school, small children. Can we the girl? The manager, that little girl before who was manager, Patches. She was doing a good job because I understand she used to lazy the farmer manager at the port, Keith Phillips. And once she was going down the road, she couldn't fail. And as she leave, the port just get out of hand. The port like a can't feel. But you never good night, John will be back before you go.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. It's 9:37, and I believe I'm having a little difficulty with my overseas line for those who have just sent me a message. I do apologize for that. Let's see if we can get it up as soon as practically possible. We are working on it, but I'll see what happens. I do apologize for my overseas callers. I don't know why ever so often just don't pick up that network, and perhaps see what I can do about it. It's now 9:38, my Straight Dog family. If you have just joined me, we are looking at our thesis for tonight, which I've titled People Drew the Reports, Embezzlement and Murders. And we looked at St. Kitts and Nevis, one of the smallest independent nations in the world. Look, I think in both in terms of land area and population. We are known for beautiful, beautiful landscapes, tourism, black and white sand beaches, and vibrant culture. But in terms of financial issues or scandals, the Shizok family, we have faced many challenges. But it would not be necessarily accurate to label our beautiful federation as a hot spot for embezzlers. But in recent times, I've been hearing our Prime Minister speak about embezzlement, and I don't know where he's going with that. But let's take a few emails and I get back to that. Blessed love, Mr. Straight Talk. To be honest, the amount of issues we have with St. Kitts and Nevis, his Labour Party, I think we can write a big book about the lying Labour Party, to fool people, destroy people's livelihood, they manipulate people, they abuse people, ghost people, give people empty promises, the stubborn and full of blame games, the typical lying Labour scammer party, and I hope my son and nieces read their book, reads this email. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patrice. Patrice, it is time to get them out of the government house down number 10 Street. From the time he get in there, that man, they doing too much wrong things to the nation. Telling all kind of lies, making big promises. Take away the $500 from those who needed it, not those who want it. Those who needed it. So he gonna increase it. Instead of increase it, he reduce it. But increase his big hell of a oversized salary. And he ain't working for it. None of them in there working for the salary what they get. Don't talk about this thing up Nevis. He getting it to salary. And all he doing coming on and going to Taiwan with Joe and riding bike in the street and putting up here and waving, showing the people them. See where I be with him, yeah, man. Me supposed to be the opposition league, but see where I be with him. I am Judas. And you gonna tell me them they done gone 2 years in the cinema government, the Mickey Mouse Bonanza government, and they ain't come out yet. We need people to oppose them, put pressure upon them. No ease up, not now wait till no 4 years term come to go back at them. We need to do it now. The more time they get to cool off, the more energy they get to do stupidness and wrong things in this country. That hospital up there need to look after, Patrick. Need to look after inside, not the building. Because somebody who working up there in the medical service, an important factor up there, tell me, don't stop talk. Because the amount of wrong things going on up there in the hospital shouldn't be going on. They got a lot of, what you call, keeping people, what you call them, the young people just come out of college. They got to learn and get experience and work. Well, whether they have experiences or not, some of them ain't showing that they love and they got passion for their work. And I don't know the reason why. And the individuals say, please, anybody could try and avoid from going up there, do it if they can. If they can't, well, otherwise. But expect anything when you go in there. Because they don't care. You're going to go in there. You're going to go in there for a big problem in your belly, cutting you. And they're going to give you caffeinol until you go home. Next thing you look, boom, you got fiddler's green. Look how many people dying so fast, constantly. Constantly, they ain't getting knocked down. Somebody need to go up there to check the hospital there. And I want to know if anybody check out those dialysis machine to see that they're okay to serve people. Because remember he said, that they couldn't ship them when they get them because of the environment or what the weather. So he had to wait until the weather changed to ship them because he didn't want any contaminated thing in them to affect people. So only God knows. They need to be checked and fling out up there and put in new things. Team Unity had things in place, a lot of things in place in the hospital, and he's so stupid. Want to say he ain't continuing nothing what the Team Unity administration started. Changing everything. Look what he called the peace program. Criminal enterprise. Well, who is more criminal than he? He's a political criminal. He don't have a conscience, don't love for nobody. Patches, good night, so long. Good night, jam down. Keep jamming. You're a brave soldier. I'll come back if you give us time.
Thank you very much. It's now 15 before the 10 o'clock hour. Patches, what on earth is going on at the JNF hospital? Reads this email. On Tuesday afternoon, a patient was admitted to JNF hospital for an ear infection. By Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m., that patient was a dead woman. Something has to be wrong at JNF. You're talking about smart hospital, but you do not have quality doctors to deal with the patients. Has the government considered the cost for patients at the hospital? You seem to be doing things without basic common sense, reads this email. Again, I do apologize for that telephone overseas line again. I know you've given me the messages, but I would suggest you try calling the same number via WhatsApp, and we may be able to contact you via WhatsApp. WhatsApp on the number seems to be okay, but for some reason I'm not getting the direct call. So let's try calling that same number. Try the same number. Try using a WhatsApp. Those are for my overseas straight talk family who are trying to get in and just seem to be getting a voicemail. Why it's going straight to a voicemail, I don't know. But it's 13 before the 10 o'clock hour, my straight talk family. And you may have joined me late. And as I said, we have looked at our theme song for our theme thesis title. What am I saying? The thesis title for tonight, my straight talk family. And as I told you, it's people drew the reports, embezzlement and murders. But let's go back to the lines, get back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Paternal love and greetings.
Greetings, my brother.
Blessed night to you, brother Patches. How you doing?
I am peaceful, Ras. I yourself?
Thankful for the love of the divine creator and the ancestors in the truth and justice and righteousness. I was just listening and putting something to a meditation of what you state in your observation. In one of your observations pertaining on the houses that's supposed to be built at the time. But I would like to reflect on something that was outlined in that and is prior to where the area in Wellington Road, as you call West Street area. And during that development was a project was aligned by the Petro-Carib. I would like to know what is it that why that project cannot be completed as how was stated under that initiative.
Well, I'll be speculating if I answer it, but I know there were some issues with the NHC because the contractor, I understood, built some additional units on just behind the bus terminal there in Ponds Extension. And yet I was told that it was not actually part of the contractual arrangement. So the costs there would have meant, the costs for those units would have meant less homes being constructed. I don't know how accurate that is, but I don't want to speculate. But obviously the NHC and this new government, I don't know what arrangements they've had with Petrocarib, the office, but I can only speculate, and I don't want to.
Well, I will find out from a part of that speculation, because I find it's very artistic to see a program of that was supposed to be established prior before even the farm administration have come out of what they're engaged to be now at that. And it's very overbearing to see that farm act is not completed, and we've seen other things going on being unstable and not completing them. But even to the school, that a lot of your politicians went and used the train them for a personal gain. I mean, to say so, because not even one aspect of the initiative has been outlined to make sure the children return into a proper state of school. Some more that was stated about how they were facing some development of contamination within certain things and all them kind of thing that was formulated by report. And we still seeing that the children is in some kind of outline stage that is not supposed to be a function of school. Now, why is it that this now is waiting on the ground of so long, and all these other initiatives are supposed to be completed, and we're still seeing them not? I find that these are troubling cause that a lot of things are being spent and no development action are taken. Is real waste money that being formulated in the structure of our society, and it comes like these kind of movements, and then administration change and the same garbage continue being on our people. When we will get to learn to move from a better way, that how we see it, we will be saying that we have young youth are listening and are advising themselves with these kind of ways of life. I would like to know, how could we continue bringing these kind of farmers to our generation? I hope we see something more better. All I said, it's better we educate the youth properly than just using political garbage to make it look like it's something don't change. I don't care what some people try to feel like when they bring all what they want to bring for their personal gain. We're not bringing up the facts that need to change evil action that are putting out against our youth. We see these kind of dangerous factors. See, that another murder take place last night or yesterday in Nevis, just to show us how we see in the format, and then onto it, we're still trying to say we can have results because some program was working before. I would like to ask the people who said that program was working before, we have strived to bring for the betterment of our community, since you have changed a lot of you who say you are in this action of gang violence, and the format that we see now is imitating on our show, because we know there's a lot of structure designed by evil, by the nations who are controlling the minds of our young generation. You have a blessed night, and I hope you start educating our youth wisely and truthful to the Almighty and not to evil forces of Babylon. Blessed guidance.
Blessed guidance as well, my dear brother. Can you please find out who I can contact for the gratuity payment for government workers? Nobody in government answers any type of communication. Reads this email. Well, I believe the right place to go is to the Human Resource Department, the Chief Personnel Officer. I understand she goes by the name of some Doe. I don't remember the first name, but that's an area or the proper department, the appropriate department, I should say, that ought to deal with those human resource matters. Good night, Patches. Right now, no cancer medication up the hospital. The hospital rundown. There's a makeshift ICU. Doctors and nurses don't really know what they are doing up there. When you hear those death announcements, and most of them are persons who die up the hospital. We don't need a smart hospital. We need a smart Minister of Health, smart directors up the hospital, and smart nurses and doctors. Patches, I'm too ashamed of what the hospital has come to. And at times I ask myself, these things are really true. I'll be frank, I'm not denying anything, but I ask myself, what has really caused this sudden deterioration in everything? Look at our water, look at our electricity, look at agriculture, look at tourism. Everything has just seemingly gone down the drain, if I can use that term. But as we wind down tonight's programming, my Straight Dog family, I knew I started somewhat late, a few minutes late, for which I apologize, and I am aware as well that I normally give you back the time, but as Straight Dog family, I look tonight for those who joined me late as well. I looked at our thesis. People drew the reports, embezzlement and murders. And that our last caller said we had a murder yesterday. Yes, sadly, we had our 27th murder yesterday, and that took place over in Nevis. And we're not happy that crime has escalated. But going back to the peace program, it's difficult for anyone to defend a case that July is making, that the peace cannot work. It worked. Because when July came to office in August 2022, 8 months in that year, there were two murders in August 2022 when July took office. He dismantled the peace program. Someone made mention of the Explorers program. He dismantled everything. And it was working. He spoke many lies about the program, when in fact the program structure I told you about, as I told you, as Major General Saunders did in fact say this.
The strategy involved started on the 13th of March 2019, and it's commonly referred to, as you know, as a peace initiative. We offer quite a number of opportunities for the at-risk group. Project development, business opportunities, they can access loans. A lot of them are into apprenticeships at this particular moment in time. They are the normal work routines, learning trades, and for obviously educational opportunities and the like. Persons who have been on for some time and who have accessed these opportunities have now started to move off the program to take up or to spend more time in the actual business venture that they have adopted. And that is always a good sign, as it makes way for anybody else who might be interested in coming onto the program or who merits coming onto that particular program.
And my Straight Talk family, It had to be an insult to those who were part of the initial team, like, as I said, Pastor Connor, who eventually came to the public and made this statement. I've heard it. I don't know if he mentioned it before, but I asked him a question. He never answered until Sunday. On his Voices of Conscience, he had this to say.
One of the best programs ever implemented for me is the peace program. And I could say why.
Well, I've always contended that the peace program was a very good program. And so that's easy for me to say because I've always said that.
Yes. So why July continues to to peddle the nonsense, we don't know. Because like I said just a few days ago in Antigua, Gaston Brown got the gangs together. Here, July didn't find it fit to invite any at-risk youth or their representation or any representation or representative part of the at-risk youth to his consultation. That's the ignorance of the man.
They have actually agreed to a truce. They have befriended each other. And I believe that this augurs well for peace and tranquility within our society. So the gang warfare that was taking place among these groups, I believe that will come to an end. As I said to them, they're the ones who have to help us to keep the peace. We have provided them with alternatives. The last thing we want is for this gang warfare to disintegrate to the extent that you have a lot of killings and our youth getting maimed. In fact, we're aware that many of them would have dropped out of school already, 13, 14, 15 years of age because of this situation. We're also aware, too, that many of them have suffered some debilitating stabs and choppings. And we're hoping that, it'll come to an end and that they'll be able to engage themselves productively. We're providing them opportunities for employment. We're also providing them opportunities for them to develop their skills at Abyss. And we're also giving them opportunities to be part of this second chance program in which they can pursue their CXC.
And yes, in Antigua and Barbuda next door, they've introduced a peace initiative that models the one that you dismantled here in St. Kitts. In Barbados as well, they introduced their own peace initiative.
For the first time, we are having direct interventions where the Prime Minister would have provided $2.5 million for family-based interventions, whether it be parental programs or life coaching programs for our adolescents that may have gone astray. So a serious effort has been made to change Barbados, starting with the National Peace Program.
So yes, the Jew is talking like an academic. So my Straight Talk family, the reports as well of embezzlement. We have on several occasions updated you on the MSR RICO case filed by the French convict Philippe Martinez. We knew he was sneaked into the country during COVID by the snake Mark Brantley. My Straight Talk family, we understand. And the July administration is silent. But as reported by the DBS television in St. Lucia, we learned that the CEO of the CIU, that's the Chief Executive Officer of the Citizenship by Investment Unit in St. Kitts, Michael Martin, we understand that Martin has resigned. So why has Dr. Jew remained quiet on this, my Straight Talk family? Why has he remained quiet on the resignation of the CEO of the CIU in St. Kitts, my straight dog family. Why has he remained quiet? Because my straight dog family, the DBS television radio reported this just yesterday. My straight dog family.
We've just had the resignation. We don't know why, but the resignation of the recently installed chief executive officer of the CIU up in St. Kitts, Nevis. Sources are indicating that it may have to do with some evidence within the MSR case that is unfolding, again for the underselling of the citizenship.
So is he a casualty of the RICO case, the MSR RICO case? But July, as the minister with responsibility for the Citizenship by Investment program, has not and will not say anything about this development or pending judicial review. But in an attempt to distract us, as a people drew attention to his own trumped-up case, he called it embezzlement. A trumped-up case of embezzlement, he called it, my straight dog family. Well, how could we ever trust Dr. July? If there is any case of embezzlement, it would have originated right in the office of the Prime Minister. It had to have originated in that office. We reminded you of the $8 million spent on the Robert L. Bradshaw Museum since 2022, my straight dog family. The project according to July should have been completed in September 2022. A budget of $4 million jumped to $8 million. But yet, the project is abandoned. And July must tell us, when will he visit, or when last he made a visit to that site? When was your last visit to the site, Dr. July? And when will you give the country a report on this project? When will you account for the $8 million spent on that project, which was in violation of the Procurement and Administration Act? We understand as well that no approval was received from the Development Control and Planning Board, my straight dog family. But ask about the difference between the peace and the Elevate program. He mumbled this nonsense.
Minister of National Security, what is different? What is the Elevate program offering now to at-risk youth that the peace may not have offered?
Right. So let me tell you what the Elevate program is. The Elevate program really, before anything was done, a study was done of the previous program. One of the things that we found there was that there was a lot of embezzlement of money involving government officials and CEOs of banks.
What was the Elevate program? That was the question. And here his non-response. And if you believe that is clever, he's fooling himself. It has just been deceitful. Because the Prime Minister is behaving like a criminal, trying to evade capture or detection by not creating a conventional trail of evidence. But he left another trail when, contrary to the Procurement and Administration Act, he handed a $5.8 million contract to Cashley Allers to purchase 1,000 water buckets. Yes. That works out to $5,800 a bucket. And he confirmed that to date only 579 buckets have been delivered. So where are the other 421 buckets, Dr. Drew? These are two clear cases of embezzlement that were hatched in the office of the Prime Minister, or as he calls it, the Prime Minister's office. Who will investigate these cases? Will you involve a forensic auditor? Do some forensic accounting, Joe? Your secrecy or lack of transparency, Dr. July. The people are aware it is being used as a cover for your corruption and your mismanagement. We noted the lack of transparency and started drawing up a report from day one of your term in office. The people drew the reports on your unethical practices so that they did not go unnoticed. As effective oversight mechanisms, people drew the reports on embezzlement and murders. The report on murders dated from the 6th of August 2022 to the 11th of September 2024 reads 8 murders in 4 months in 2022, 31 murders in 12 months in 2023, and 27 to date in 8 months in 2024, totaling 66 murders under your watch, Dr. July. So one must glean from the statistics presented for the past 2 years since the change of government in 2022 that St. Kitts Nevis has experienced higher rates of violent crime, including murders, the last one just yesterday in Nevis, to make 27 for 2024. Unfortunately, the July administration dismantled the crime prevention program that he met in place, thus deriving moods of fear among the population as the country has returned to the heinous gun crimes. My Straight Talk family, the peace program gave at-risk youth a second chance. It was therefore essential to sustain and expand the program in order to continue the progress made in reducing crime and improving community safety. We've heard the testimonies, those in the program. But the Prime Minister, Dr. July, is stuck in denial mode. He fails to accept and continues in vain to tarnish the at-risk youths that benefited. But my Straight Talk family, while July is burying his head in denial, Gaston Brown, the PM or Prime Minister of Antigua, has partly emulated our program. Mayor Motley, the Prime Minister in Barbados, has done the same with their Barbados Peace Initiative. They pumped $2 million into the program. So put away politics and make peace. Let's make peace and justice. Let's make it not just a concept, but a way of life. St. Kitts Nevis has long been a beacon of harmony and trust. But under Drew, and recent developments had begun to erode the sense of unity. Our once close-knit communities and people are now divided, with simmering tensions threatening to upend the serenity they had cherished for so long. Already, people drew the reports, embezzlement, and murders. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I just must, first of all, thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many listeners, you, the callers, you, the emailers, and to just remind you that all of you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd and God's Spill. We will connect sometime next week. I'll let you know, my Straight Talk family. As someone said, we have 2 holidays, so we'll try and make up somehow for that. But have yourselves a wonderful holiday weekend. Have yourselves, my Straight Talk family, a good rest. And remember in the process that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But you just got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, I wish you a happy independence. And remember our quotation tonight as well. Our greatest ability as humans is not to change the world, but to change ourselves. So again, when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect. Sometime next week, I'll let you know. Keep moving on, my Straight Talk family. Bye-bye.